How much has the purchasing power of cash actually declined? Had a guy post my comment on my video the other day. I forgot what it was about inflation. He goes, "The cash is way down." Let's take a look. Is cash really way down? Is cash really way down? And the answer is not. It's just not. Now, I want to be very clear here. If you're stacking up dollar bills and you're leaving them in your your safe. I don't think you're supposed to store cash in your safe deposit box. That purchasing power of that cash has gone down. There's no two ways around that. We're talking investments here. Cash as an investment via T-bills, treasury bills, the risk-free investment. So if you're stacking $100,000 in little dollar bills, yes. Why would you do that? You should keep some cash. I keep a little bit of cash. You know what I'm saying? If a guy came over and liked to give tips and stuff like that, you should do the same. You want to make yourself feel good, tip your trash moving guys. I'm telling you, man, tip one of my trash moving guys the other day, 40 schmackaroonies. The guy looked like he had tears in his eyes. Those guys are crushing, man. We need them too. I'm telling you, man. Those trash moving, I think New York City had as in France or as UK did, New York City did as well with the back of the union struck, the trash moving unions. And man, you're not good. So make sure you give your trash moving guys a little bit of respect for sure. And so you need cash for this. Cash is king. But if you're sitting on $20, $30, $40,000 of cash, literal cash, I say, what are you doing? I know the old days, people used to do this. The old days when they were dealing with the depression. They're worried about not getting their money out of the bank. I get that, man. They put their freaking cash in the ceilings and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But that's just not an issue anymore. Look, keep some cash. Look, keep a stash of cash. But other than that, it should be invested in something. And we're going to look at treasury bills to see what the cash has done relative to inflation. And there's just no excuse not to know this stuff. So you can say my dollar bill has lost ground 98% since 1913. We're not going to go back that far, but my dollar bill has lost ground in purchasing. Oh, but that's if you held a dollar bill. If you held a dollar bill in 1913, you have the same dollar bill today, and it just sat there in your safe box. Yes, it has, but why would you do that? A dollar bill serves one purpose and one purpose only: to transact for velocity. That's why there is a slow eroding inflation of the dollar, to get you to spend it. The dollar bill serves one purpose and one purpose only: to transact business, to buy this new calculator I got. That used to cost $150, now it costs $28 or something like that. That's what the dollar bill serves as a purpose. It is a currency, a method of exchange. All right, it replaces barter, because if I had freaking a bunch of onions and you had a bunch of cattle, we couldn't trade very well with your cattle and onions, because my onions might not be ripe at the time that your cattle was ready to be chopped up and given to me, if that makes sense. So we had this method of exchange, currency, dollar bill. The dollar bill serves solely as, it's not a store of value. It's just not. Never has been, never will be. A dollar bill is a method to exchange products. That's it, man. That way we can eliminate the inefficiencies of the barter system. Let me show you a good book if you want to read more on this. Hold on a second. One of the best books you'll ever read on this is Principle of Economics by Carl Menger. You can see there's a foreword in this book by Hayek. Along with Smith's Wealth of Nations, Ricardo's Principles, Marx's Capital, Marshall's Principles, and Keynes' General Theory, Carl Menger's Principle of Economics is one of the most important books ever written in terms of influence on the development of modern economic theory. It's just chock full. It's literally one of the best books I've ever read, without question. I probably should just do videos on Menger, because Menger just crushes. Anyway, the point being, he talks about the old days of barter system and why we have a currency, and what has been used as a currency in terms of coinage and things of that nature. It's just incredibly interesting, the history behind it as well. You'll get a lot out of that. So and if I remember, I'll put it in the show. I don't think these are very expensive. Well, they might be. I don't know. It's just such a good book. Actually, I want to cattle. Yeah, all cultures use of cattle. Cattle constituted the most highly esteemed property and were preferred above all else. Legal fines were paid in cattle and weapons, and only later in metallic money. And that's just one. Right here. Until very late, cattle and next to them sheep formed the means of exchange among the Romans. That's crazy. I just opened that up and that's what I saw. I'm just going to read a little bit more here. That's page 264 and 265. With the progress of civilization, therefore, cattle lost to a great extent the broad range of marketability they had previously had with respect to the number of persons to whom and with respect to the time period within which they could be sold economically. They ceased to be the most saleable of commodities, the economic form of money, and finally ceased to be money at all. This is what I'm talking about. Menger's talking about how cattle used to be the currency of exchange. We don't want that anymore. That's back in the Roman times. We don't want that anymore. We want paper. Paper. Paper is backed by fiat. Nothing. Just the ability for the federal government to print more. Now, we can argue all day long about the gold standard. We could. I'm telling you right now, fractional reserve has allowed us to have things that we would not have otherwise had. Just a fact. Now, at some point, as all empires do, they erode and crash. It's inevitable. America is not going to be here 1,000 years from now. I mean, this land will be here, but the structure that we know won't be. So enjoy while you can, man. You're getting all caught up. Oh my goodness, they're printing money. Anyways, just slow down. Hold on a second. Dogs. You don't even know what you're barking at. All right, Benny. Anyway, so that's what we've replaced with our method of exchange, currency of exchange. It's just a dollar bill. All right. So a dollar bill is loaded up. If you have a $100,000 bill, is actual dollar bill. Finny, come here. Come say hi. Or Pablo, come say hi to everybody. Come here. Oh, everybody wants to see the dog. Oh, here's one. There we. Give me those antibodies. Yeah, Pablo. Everyone wants to see Pablo too. All right. Watch out. Let me get your brother.
Finny, you're good.
All right. There's Pablo. Everyone wants to see Pablo. There he is. Oh, well, you got to look at the camera so everyone says hello. My name is Pablo. I just want a TREAT, which I can't spell.
Yeah, you sound like people from Chloe's work.
That's all recorded, by the way. All right, so here's Pablo. Pablo wants to talk money. All right, so we're not sitting there with $100,000 of literal cash. That would not make any sense. So we're going to buy T-bills. All right, T-bills are short-term government bonds. I hate to even bonds. They're not really bonds. It's just they're really bonds that mature within a year. T-bills, generally speaking, 1 to 3 months are the risk-free investment that we look at. So let's just say you had your $100,000 of cash. Instead of just leaving your safe deposit box, you just put in T-bills. How would you have done relative to inflation? So let's take a gander. So here's our 1-year treasury rate chart. You can see 54-year historical. That doesn't say anything relative to inflation, but you can see 16.03 in 1981, 11.61 in 1981. Let's see right here. 10, you can see all this is just going down drastically, where you got basically 19 basis points, 22 basis points, and whatnot. And these are 1-year T-bills that mature in a year, all right? This is even Fed funds rate, but even just 1 year, 5.27 in 2023. All right, so now we're going to back test it, and this goes back, that went back to what did it go back to? 1962 or something like that. So you can see we've had rates of return on treasury bills above 0. So now it's back tested relative to, we're going to use 3-month T-bills right here. This is in Portfolio Visualizer Cash. And we're going to go back to 1985 until right now. We got 10,000 schmackaroonies in there. We're going to come down right here, and we're going to see we have positive rates of return. 5.17 in 2023, 1.82, 4 basis points, 5 basis points, whatnot. So let's take a gander, shall we? So our $10,000 in 1985 grew to $34,000 in 2023. All right, so we tripled our money in that roughly 30-year time frame. If we factor it with inflation, again using CPI, our $10,000 still beat the rate of inflation by 1,796. All right, so we still have positive purchasing power. If this $10,000 was lower than if this $10,000 we invested in initially was lower than $10,000 here, we'd have negative purchasing power, but it's positive. Now, again, we didn't make much money. We averaged 3.22% a year, compounded annual growth rate since 1985. Let's show this. See what cost $10,000 in 1985. How much did it cost in 2023? It cost $28,000 in 2023. All right, so if you invested $10,000 in 1985 in T-bills, we have $34,000 to our name. All right, so we've made $6,000. I mean, not a great return when you're looking at relative to S&P 500 or even just long-term bonds, but we've actually beaten the race. For our purchasing power in cash, now he wants to go outside, has actually increased. Again, if you look at T-bills, the whole point of cash is to freaking transact, man. So I don't get why people don't get this. It's like they need to be negative, man. I literally don't understand it. Thank the good Lord I don't. And it's not just like the cash is trash stuff. It's just like this guy's comment, like, oh yeah, what if you just left it in cash? Well, define cash. The dollar bill. I said, well, how much you leaving in cash? $100,000. Well, that'd be stupid. Why would you do that? Why would you just leave it in cash? Go put it in the freaking short-term bonds, or CDs, anything. But just don't leave it sitting there in cash. And if you don't leave it in cash, you actually made money. You haven't lost anything. Your purchasing power has increased. I just proved it to you right there. Anyway, so pet peeve. Oh, my baby cakes. I love them. I love dogs. Dogs are such a blessing, man. Cats, not so much. I do like cats because they'll kill the critters out there, but no. So tell me, are you a dog person or a cat person? If you, because you're a cat person, we're going to ban you. But put in the show notes if you stay this long. You like say dogs or cats? I'd love to hear what you say, dogs or cats, because there is really no alternative. Alpacas are cute and all, but it's got to be dogs, cats, or nothing. So we got three choices. Dogs is the right choice. Cats is the wrong choice. Nothing is a second wrong choice. All right. So if you say cats or nothing, you're banned for life. All right. But if you say dogs, you rule the school and the others drool. All right. Love to hear your thoughts. God bless. See ya.